that's our face to the world. That little strip there, and you know, a little paint and little taken care of by we have to make the business owners that are already there want to make it look nice.
On the uniformity, it's already part of the planning commission, the business overlay district and the downtown district zoning regulations. And clean it up and paint, it all rolls back to zoning. It really just all comes back to zoning. So I'd be really in favor of a Main Street restoration type of committee, or beautification or whatever. I think that would be good. On the business development committee, I like the idea in theory. This is Leroy's opinion. I like the idea in theory. I have a concern about it. It's really something probably to be addressed by Laura, and that is, if you have a business development committee made up of council members who are ultimately voting on the approval or disapproval of a zoning change or some such thing, I'm concerned about the appearance of impropriety that might be created by that, Laura.
Well, you have some buffer that your planning commission does a lot of that initially and recommends the council, but any of those committees that are outreaches should be pretty heavily weighed with citizen participation. So if it was similar to the Recreation Commission, where it's a council liaison or maybe one other council member, and then 4 or 5, actually 4 or 5 depending on how many council people you put on.
You mean citizens?
Yeah.
So
then you would have less concern.
You have a council liaison, another council person, and then a committee of people at large.
Right.
So you said that part of that business recruitment should be done by planning commission?
No, the conflict issue he's worried about is that
Is
there would
addressed.
be a buffer, is that planning commission
Is the one who
who
recommends.
does the initial approval of the majority of what he's
I got what
concerned
you're saying.
with.
So you
It
would-
does get approved by council, but you do have a little bit of a buffer that you wouldn't have to worry about.
I mean, that's really what I was worried about with what you were talking about, because we have experienced that in the past, where
You wouldn't want both. You wouldn't want somebody filling
Yeah.
both roles. I got what you're saying.
I can't. I think it
Well, you
would.
don't want to approach a business and say, hi, come to Amelia, and then say you're not zoned correctly and kick them out. I mean, that is the concern.
I think there has to be some. I think it's a great idea. I think there has to be some education on the ethical and legal possibilities to make sure that there are no bounds being overstepped with regard to, like I said, a conflict of interest. Derek has a friend who is looking to relocate to the area. That's beautiful. We love it. We want him here. And then Derek is the guy that makes the motion to accept the zone change. I'm just trying to create an appearance of impropriety, or to avoid an appearance of impropriety.
That's what our vote present is for.
Yeah.
Pardon me?
That is what our vote present is for.
That was my concern. So short of that, if this committee wants to proceed, if the council wants to proceed in that way, I'd be in full support of it.
Well, I'd like to initially, since we're going to need citizens, maybe put something on the website that we're thinking about creating this committee and see if there's any interest, because we have, been waiting a year for interest in recreation, so we might want to do the, and planning struggled, so let's put it out there and maybe also talk to the ABA and see if anyone there is interested in serving on it as well.
Maybe would it be, maybe we don't even need to form a committee, maybe we just need to get somebody to go to ABA meetings. Or,
Well, I think you need something collaborative there.
I guess my concern is what, I like Bob's idea of doing advertising. The only question I have is where's the money going to come from to advertise?
Well, not necessarily advertising, but, you know, I've been to other villages' websites and they talk about, you know, their business development and here's things that are available and what's near the area and so on and so forth.
A
So,
lot of that is probably, if I had to bet money, I might be wrong, handled by an administrator, somebody that's a non-elected person.
Or,
That's really an administrator's job, is business development.
or my thought would be comes from the planning commission, because you're kind of developing the plan for your village, and that's just an extension of it. You're just basically selling the plan that's developed.
To a
You
certain
see this,
extent.
yeah, when you see those little blurbs on the website. But I was, when you're thinking advertising, I'm thinking of, you know, like maybe taking out an ad in community press. Hey, look at Amelia, we're awesome.
Full page ad.
Yeah,
Where?
yeah, that would be better, but.
That would be
you know,
expensive.
the
We
cheaper
have, like Derek
routes.
said, we have, as far as the village is concerned, we are really behind in trying to promote it from a business standpoint, I think. We don't have any ground to speak of that we could advertise for a business to build on, you know, things like that. We're just not set up for it. We got pinned in by by two saloons. We've been stuck with it ever since. Otherwise, we could have been, but we didn't, so. Like I said, the squeaking wheel gets the grease, so maybe we all start squeaking. Somehow or other. Amongst all of us, some of us should have a brilliant idea.
I think we should move forward and go ahead, though, and put it out on the website. And
That's a
see
good
if
start.
there's Any interest
It's a
in the
good
public.
start.
Let's do that.
Because Main Street has always been a huge concern here, always.
No doubt about it. That being said, what does council think about the idea of placing two notices on the website? One asking for members, community members to expressing interest in Amelia Business Development Committee, and one for a Main Street restoration or beautification effort.
almost would think they'd be one and the same,
Yeah.
especially if
right.
you're struggling to get 6 people to begin with. I think that that would be something that would, the committee would be one and the same committee, I would think.
Is there anything, just so I make sure I understand you right, if we created a restoration committee, there's nothing they could do with them, they do more enforcement? They can't, because if I understand you correctly, they can't write new laws, because that comes from the planning commission. So I really don't see at that point, if they can't enforce, if they can't write new laws, I don't see the point in having a.
Let me explain what I was thinking with that. We don't have a zoning person, okay? If they're a restoration committee or beautification committee, some group of well-meaning citizens who knocked on the door of Joe's business place with paint peeling off of it, said, "My name is John Q. Public, and I'm with the Amelia Main Street Beautification Organization. We're part of a grassroots effort to revitalize Main Street." That's really what I'm talking about.
And if you need help in doing this, let's see if we can get some people together to do this.
I mean,
There.
and the reason I said that is because we don't have zoning, and because of the continued concern about business development and conflict with regard to that, and maybe there's some. That's just my ideas. I proceed however council directs. And we definitely want to put something on the website asking for involvement in Main Street Business Development Committee.
I say you put them both out there, and then if you feel we need to combine them or whatever after that,
Just see where the
just to
interest
see
is.
what the
Yeah.
interest is. Maybe more people care about beautification than business districts, so.
Here's the thought that just occurred to me, is would it have the same impact if you said, hey, I'm from Amelia Business, would I'm drawing a blank, but what you call it again, the business
Development.
the business development committee, you got paint peeling on the side of your business, anything we can do to help you get that taken care of? Would that have the same impact as saying, hey, I'm from beautification? I think you can
That'd be a
almost
sweet
go-
way of telling your business painting. And we noticed it.
I don't know.
As a committee, I think you could pull that off very nicely.
If you can get the volunteers.
The, you know, my gut feeling is, and I meant to have something prepared to talk to council about tonight, and I can still talk about it, but whether we like it or not, you knock on the door, at least that's the case for me, you knock on the door of a resident and you introduce yourself as council person Todd Hart, unless it's your neighbor who already thinks you're a great guy, the very first thing people do is distrust you, you know, as is evidenced by countless phone calls that we receive here at the village. There's just a, you know, it comes at the local level and goes all the way up the chain. There's a distrust of government in general. We received a call recently from a resident who was so angry and yelling at Julie about how the village just so discreetly signed a contract with Lemke on behalf of the village for trash collection, and how it was just kept such a big secret. I think we issued press releases. Lemke sent out a postcard to every home. We sent out a postcard to every home. Whether they're right or wrong about their opinion, the fact is it wasn't a secret. It was not a secret. And so there was just a general underlying distrust. So from my perspective, if I'm a guy with a business on Main Street and I already dislike government, and Joe Councilman knocks on my door and says, I'm with Amelia, Main Street Restoration Committee, and I'm introducing myself as an elected official. My personal opinion is that it carries less weight than Michelle knocking on the door, who's not an elected official, who's just somebody that loves where she lives and wants to see it be better. That's just my opinion. But I still think, in general, we can put something on the information out on the website to see what kind of feedback we get, and then Julie will put some wording together for that.
Derek, you want to put some wording together and send it to me, and
I'll
we'll
do
work
that.
on it together?
Yeah,
Because
we'll do it as two separate
what you
ones.
want to say. Okay.
And then, if need be, and we see how much interest we have and which one pulls the most interest, if we need to combine them after the fact,
Yeah.
we'll go from there. But I'll put something together.
Okay.
Okay. I think, unless there's any other ideas for other committees of any sort in the village, any discussion on any other ideas?
We do need to talk about the Christmas decorations
Mm-hmm.
committee that we're going to be forming, so we'll probably include that as
Oh,
well.
that'd be cool.
So Todd and I are going to head that up, so we can work on repair of the Christmas decorations